Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to August meeting of NPU-F. Today is August 20th. My name is Tom Schwab. I'm the NPU-F Vice Chair and also its Alcohol Licensing Committee Chair. I'm going to be hosting the meeting tonight. So I also want to thank Kay Stevenson for agreeing to be my co-host for the meeting. Looks like we've got plenty of folks here, so we've more than met our quorum requirement. Our chair for the NPU is Debbie Shopchinsky. Debbie will not be with us tonight. This is only my second time hosting, so I'm still working some of the kinks out of the process, but I want to thank everybody in advance for their patience and understanding as we work through this tonight. I'd say we've got about a moderate level of agenda, so hopefully we'll get out a little earlier than normal tonight. Also with us tonight, other members of the NPU. Catherine King is our secretary. She's going to be taking notes. And as everybody knows, this meeting is also being recorded. Kay Stevenson and Susan Canellis are our public safety co-chairs. Who else do we have? Wiley Somerville is our zoning chair. Rich Sussman handles parks, trees, and environment. Marla Johnson is our communications chair. Jason Holmes is the education chair. Kitty Deweese is our APAB representative, and Doug Young is our City of Atlanta planner. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the meeting logistics for tonight. NPU-F has two agendas. We have the full agenda, that's the one with the phone numbers at the top. And we also have a consent agenda. The consent agenda is a subset of items on the full agenda. They're usually simpler. We approve them with no discussion. We bundle them all together and handle it with a single vote. So if you're here for an application and we finish up with the consent agenda and we haven't talked to you, don't panic. We're going to cover you under the full agenda. And I have posted both agendas in the chat. And in addition, the full agenda is posted to the NPU website. All right, we'll be voting on numerous issues tonight. All residents of the NPU-F may vote unless you have a financial interest. In other words, you have a specific property or you're a business owner that has an application in front of us tonight. You can't vote on that, but you can vote on other applications. If you're not a resident of the NPU, but you own a business here, you may vote if you've met all the requirements as described in our bylaws. And all these voting rules are published at the bottom of the full agenda. Please refrain from voting if you do not live or own a property or business within NPU-F. When we vote, we're going to use the raise your hand feature. I'll talk to you more about that in just a minute, but we'll be using that for voting at any time you have a question or a comment. We use Robert's Rules of Order as our parliamentary guide. But for most routine matters, I'm just going to ask if there's any objections or for unanimous consent. When we do need a motion, I'll recognize the first two people who speak up, somebody that makes the motion and somebody that raises their hand. That's the only exception to the raise your hand rule. We've got a lot of folks here tonight, and to keep order, please use that raise your hand feature if you want to speak, unless you're presenting a course or we've asked you to call on you for some reason. Okay. Most of you have all used Zoom before, but I do want to give a real quick refresher on some of the key features that we're going to be using tonight. The first is a participant list. I mean, that's essentially a list of everybody that's here at tonight's meeting. Your name's going to appear at the very top of that list. If you don't have a separate panel with all the participants, usually look at the bottom. You should be able to activate that with a participant button at the bottom of your screen. If there's more than one person using the same device, so let's say two people are at a home using one computer, we really want to have both of your names in the participant list. That'll be critical when we get to voting. We want to make sure that each of your votes count. So we need to have both your names there. If you need to change your name, next to your name, you'll see a little more button. Drop that and it'll give you the option to rename yourself. And likewise, if somebody else's name is in your window, please correct that. And if you've logged in twice on two devices, please delete one of them. If we see duplicate names, we're not going to count either vote, just to make sure our voting is accurate. And also, Kay and I might tweak with your name by adding a 2 or something in front if there's multiple people. That helps us get an accurate count as well. Probably the most important feature of Zoom is the mute button. It looks like a little microphone, usually in the lower left. There's also one in the participant list to the right of your name. It's very important everybody stay muted unless you're speaking. I mentioned that raise your hand icon we're going to use for both voting and if you have a question or comment. That is under the reaction tab at the bottom of your screen. Please remember to use the correct icon. Usually it specifically says raise hand. Don't use the clappy hands or the thumbs up. Those things will simply disappear after a couple of seconds. So you'll lose your place online if you have a question and your vote won't count. So please use the right icon. Um, Again, I mentioned please don't speak unless you're called upon, and we're going to use the raise your hand feature for that. I see a lot of folks have their cameras on and a lot don't. That's fine. But if you are speaking, if you're here for a presentation, we need you to turn your camera on while you're presenting so we know we've got the right folks here representing the right application. But otherwise, you can turn your camera off if you're more comfortable with that. If you've dialed in on via phone, I know we have a couple of folks doing that tonight. And if you want to raise your hand for a question or comment or a vote, you can use *9 on your phone. That will raise your hand. Don't worry, I can still see that your hand is raised at my end, so I'll know to call on you. Likewise, if you're phoning in, you'll need to use *6 to unmute yourself. That's in addition to any mute button you may have on the face of your phone. Okay, lastly, with Zoom, the chat feature, that's very handy. If you need to activate that window, again, there's a button usually at the bottom of the screen that will pull up a separate window so you can see our chat. It's a great place to send messages. You can do that to everybody or one particular individual. As I mentioned, I posted the minutes and both of our agendas into that chat. Also, it's a great place to post your contact information. So if you're here tonight presenting or representing a department, you don't really need to run through your phone number or email verbally because people won't remember it anyways. But if you just put it in that chat, people can copy it, paste it, save it, handle it that way. And lastly, at the end of the night, if you wish to save the chat, there's a lot of valuable information in there. Usually you'll see three little dots in the upper right of the chat window. You click on that and it will save that chat to your hard drive for prosperity. I have learned though that it saves all the text in the chat, not attachments. So if somebody uploads a presentation, you might want to specifically view that and save that presentation to your hard drive separately. Okay, that's it for Zoom. Refresher. Let's talk about our meeting protocols. Try to keep your questions and comments germane to the topic at hand. We will be following an agenda tonight. We'll cover that in just a minute. If you have a random thought, that's fine. Putting it in the chat is a great idea. Somebody will either respond in the chat, answer your question, or we'll work to get that back in the discussion as appropriate. Also, if it's something completely new, we can bring that up during new business, which we'll cover later in the agenda. I think it's under agenda item number 12, if memory serves. We would ask everybody online to be respectful. We're all neighbors here. Sometimes things can get passionate if we feel strongly about a particular application or issue. Sometimes that passion can work itself out in the way of snarky or sarcastic comments. We don't want to do that. Please keep it professional and neighborly, and I will endeavor to do the same. We want to hear from you, but we're going to ask you to only speak once on a topic unless we specifically ask for clarification or a question on a previous remark. And likewise, we're going to limit comments to 2 minutes each. That's not to stifle anybody, but we want to make sure we can get through the agenda tonight, and we want to be fair to everybody that may have a question or comment. We'll ask, please only have one person speaking at a time so everybody can hear. And if we're picking up a lot of background noise, it might be because you're not muted. So please keep muted. And if we have a lot of interruptions or certain individuals are hogging the floor, again, we might ask you to mute your line there as well to keep things moving. All righty. Again, the purpose of the whole NPU system is to have your voice heard. So we really want to hear from you whether you're for an application or a topic or whether you're opposed to it. We want to get both sides and have a healthy discussion. Likewise, if you think something should be noted, it's appropriate or impactful to the neighborhood, please bring that up. We'll make sure we get it in the minutes or get it to the right city department. And I talked a lot about Robert's rules and raising your hands and whatnot, limiting time. Please don't misconstrue that as trying to suppress your voice. That's not what we're after. We want to hear from you. We just want to be concise and do it in a fair, orderly way. We do send all the comments you put in the chat to the city so they can see them, review them, and respond as appropriate. I tend to talk rather quickly, so if I'm doing so and I skim over something, feel free to raise your hand, ask me to slow down, or if you're unclear why we're doing something the way we are, I'm happy to explain that or repeat that. And I guess lastly, what I'm trying to say is your participation here is critical if we're going to have our grassroots democracy have an impact. Which brings me to my final point on the opening comments, which is your vote here tonight counts. We have a responsibility to share our opinions with city leadership. But I want to remind everybody, anything that we vote on tonight is only a recommendation. The final decision on anything we talk about here tonight is made by either city boards or city administrators or city councils. So I encourage you to express your opinions here, but also directly with those entities as well. Whether you do that in writing or in phone or you attend a public hearing, it's very important that you get your voice out there through all methods possible so the city understands what the community wants and they can act accordingly. Sometimes it's easy to get discouraged if we feel that we vote a certain way and the governing body at the city goes a different way or a vote is ignored. Um, don't get discouraged by that. It's important that we continuously give notice that the NPU is paying attention to everything going on. And I encourage everybody, if you feel that particular city officials aren't listening to us, that's what elections are for. So get out there and vote in November. And likewise, another way to increase your voice is to join the NPU. We also are holding elections in November, so it's a great opportunity to even make your voice more powerful to becoming a part of the leadership team of the NPU. More about that later. Okay, so let's get on with our first order of business, which is to adopt the agenda for this evening. Again, I have posted the agenda in the chat, actually both agendas, but we're just going to approve the full one. I do have an addition to the agenda that came out after the agenda was already formalized. This is for a special use application. It's U-25-011. This governs the Clifton School that wants to go in at 1146 Sheraton Road. I think I saw Karen Scott with
Yes,
us.
good
Ms.
evening.
Scott? Excellent. Great. Well, thank you for being here. Just sit tight. We're going to get to you in a minute. I just needed to make sure you were here. So Miss Scott applied for this special use application way back in March. I will spare everybody the long saga, but let it suffice to say there were numerous errors with the city scheduling this. Hopefully those are resolved now, but the ZRB is meeting in September for this, which means we as the NPU need to vote on this tonight. So I would like to make a motion to add U-25-001 to the agenda.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Thank you, Kay. All righty. Normally I would just do this by objection, but we have a higher threshold for approval of agenda adoption. So I want to do a count on this. Is there any discussion on the motion? Again, we're not voting on the application at this point. We're only voting on amending the agenda so we can talk about it later. Any questions on that? All right, seeing none, we will take it to a vote. So all those in favor of amending the agenda as the motion stated, please raise your virtual hands now. I see one clappy hands. So again, please try to use that raise your hand feature.
It's on the react button on the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. And let me get on that as well. This one is All right. Have we stayed leveled off on the account? I've got 14 ayes. I am going to lower everybody's hand if my computer will cooperate. All right. Any opposed to the motion to amend our agenda accordingly? Please raise your hand now if you're opposed. Okay, I'm not seeing any opposed. So by a vote of 14-0, the motion carries. U-25-011 is officially added to tonight's agenda. Are there any other additions that anyone would like to nominate to tonight's agenda? If so, please raise your virtual hands. Okay, I'm not seeing any. So, is there anyone opposed to adopting the newly amended agenda? If so, please raise your hand. Again, not seeing any. So the amended agenda is adopted without objection. All right. Thank you for that housekeeping issue. So now that our agenda is official, we can move on to item number 2 on that agenda, which is the approval of the minutes. The July minutes are now ready for review. And again, we posted them in the chat as well as the NPU-F website. So thanks to Catherine King for getting that done for us and for Marla for getting them up on the website. May I have a motion to adopt the July minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. Can I have a second?
This is
Second.
Bill Compton. I'll make a second.
Thank you, Bill. Any discussion on the motion? Does anybody object to the motion to adopt July's meeting minutes? If so, please raise your hand. All right, seeing none, the motion carries without objection. The minutes are adopted. Okay, folks, I have a few announcements tonight. We've been requesting proposed changes or amendments to the NPU's bylaws and our policy statements for several months now. Every meeting we bring this up. So we're kind of now where the rubber's starting to meet the road. By decree of the city code, we'll be voting to affirm our bylaws and policies next month. So September 17th, we'll be voting on this. I haven't received any amendments or recommendations to change. Does anyone have any outstanding recommendations to amend the NPU-F bylaws or policies? If you do, please raise your hand now. Okay, I'm not seeing any. So we will officially vote to renew our existing bylaws and policy statement next month at the September 17th meeting. So this is our official 1 month notification. Okay, next order of business. Let's see, a couple of changes. The occupation tax code is being amended. That's 25-0-1417. Essentially, it looks like the fees are going up for this. If anybody wants to see the particulars, they can look at the fact sheet. That is posted at the bottom of our agenda with hyperlinks to it. There's going to be a public hearing of the Finance and Executive Committee on September 10th of this year. In other news, we've talked about the draft 1 of the zoning ordinance rewrite, and that's been posted to the project website at atlzoning.com. The draft will be up through September 2nd, so a little less than 2 weeks you have to get your last minute comments in. Feel free to make those comments and suggestions on the draft. I want to remind everybody that campaigning at NPU meetings is strictly prohibited by the City of Atlanta's Code of Ordinances 6-3019. Prohibits it at any public forum. So again, as a reminder, please refrain from introducing yourself as your elected official that's rerunning for office. You can't display any buttons or banners or signs in your background. Can't distribute campaign literature, materials, etc. during this meeting. And this is not campaigning, but again, more of a call to service. I touched on this briefly earlier, but the NPU elections are coming up in November. So, uh, fellow committee chair people, I'm probably going to be reaching out to you in the next few weeks, asking about your intentions of rerunning, and likewise to everybody in the whole community. If you'd like to get involved, it's a great way to do it. Meet your neighbors. Elections are in November. The terms run 1 year from the beginning of January through the end of December of 2026. I believe there'll be several positions open within the NPU, and we really need you. We need your creativity, some new blood, your spirit, dedication. It's a great way to contribute, and so please consider running. If you want to run, reach out to myself or any other committee chair, and we can tell you more about the positions and get you hooked up with the right folks. All righty. So that includes my announcements. From here, let's move on to agenda item number 4, which is reports from city departments. Why don't we start with Atlanta Fire Department? Anyone here from Station 19 or 29?
Hey, good evening. This is Chief Roman with Battalion 3. I'll be representing Station 19 and the neighborhood Virginia Highlands.
Great, welcome. What
How are you
would you
this
like to
evening?
share with us?
Good. I appreciate y'all having me. Just a couple points to mention from the department. Just be mindful, APS school year has started. So actually, give me one moment. Let this radio die down for a second. All right, I apologize about that. It could be loud a little bit.
No problem.
So let me start over. APS school started, so we're aware the schools are back in session. We have the school buses, so just a reminder to be mindful of the children in the morning. As we get closer to the fall months, it will get darker in the morning, so just be a little slower and safer with those young kids waiting for the school buses. With the cooler weather approaching, we're going to be spending more time outdoors with the fall football sports hitting the airwaves. A lot of neighborhood barbecuing is going to take place. Be mindful of the city ordinance with barbecuing. Proper receptacle, gas grill, charcoal grill has to be at least 10 feet from a structure. It cannot be on a covering near a structure. So if it's a multifamily residential, like an apartment, you cannot have a grill on your balcony. That's a fire hazard. It's against city ordinances. Also, yard debris. When we get into the cooler months, people start burning leaves and yard debris. That's also against city ordinance. We want to bring that up, remind everyone that there are means to get those disposed of, but we do not burn in the city. There's no burning all 12 months of the year in the city of Atlanta. Recreational fires like fire pits, those things are allowed if it's a right receptacle, if it's meant to be used for that purpose. Again, just like a grill, at least 10 feet from a structure, away from combustibles. Don't leave it near anything. And obviously don't leave it unattended. And this is all safety measures so we can avoid loss and accidental fires. The rooftop patios is another topic that's come up with a couple of months with planning and stuff with businesses. Businesses are opening. Rooftop patios are nice. They're enjoyable. Like I said, the fall's coming around. It's nice to be outside. However, be mindful that it requires a code permit from the Atlanta Office of Buildings before use. It has to be properly coded and proper exits, that sort of thing in place. Safety first, enjoyment second with those things. And one other thing to mention, we're having a firefighter 5K coming up. I know the Highlands is a big running community. This was a great event last year. It's being hosted by the Atlanta Fire Foundation and the Atlanta Track Club. Just mention to the neighbors out there, there is a sign up on the Atlanta Fire Foundation website for it. There's been some publications through social media and whatnot. I just figured it'd be a good evening to mention it to everyone. That's going to be September 6th. It's a 5K and it's going to be held downtown if anybody's interested in joining that. My phone number and email's in the chat, and I can vet any questions that anybody has for Atlanta Fire Rescue.
Any questions for Atlanta Fire? All right, I'm not seeing any. Thank you very much, Chief Roman. Appreciate you being here.
Okay, thank you. Y'all.
Chief, you're with Station 19, is that correct?
It's one of my stations. I'm
Okay.
housed in Atlantic Station over in West Midtown on
Oh,
16th Street. That's
okay.
my office location, but 19th is one of my stations. Correct. It's one of my.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All righty. Let's move on to the APD. Anyone from Zone 2?
Good evening, Captain Dearlove.
Welcome. Welcome,
Hi.
Captain. What would you like to share with us tonight?
Hello, everyone. Just want to give just numbers year to date. We're down 11% in crime for Zone 2 precincts. We do have trends in areas of concern for Lynbridge and Morningside. First is going to be theft from autos. It's going to be property crime related. Theft from autos continues to be an issue for us. Although we're down from last year, it's still a trend that we're mitigating. On the front end, we have patrols in our proactive unit working to identify, and on the back end, we have our investigations taking place. Stakeholders and residents are just urged to make sure that they clear out their vehicles, not leave any items of value in the vehicle while they're away from it, whether in a restaurant or in their driveway. Another issue is going to be package thefts around Lindridge, Morton Manor. We're seeing mailbox thefts during the late evening, early morning watch hours. We stepped up our patrol in that corridor as well. On the nuisance side, we're working with our license and permit unit to identify businesses along Cheshire Bridge corridor for compliance checks. And trends that we've noticed that we've gotten from our auto theft unit, Infinity make and model type vehicles. We've seen thefts from there where the car thieves are changing the programming for the vehicle. We haven't seen a significant uptick in the Buckhead, Morningside, Lynridge corridor, but we're just urging the residents to use caution, or if they have any additional protective means, such as the billy club or like the little bars for the steering wheels, that would assist if you have an Infinity. If not, if anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to assist.
All right, any questions for Captain Dearlove? Yeah, Rich. Rich, you're still muted. Rich, you're muted. Rich,
Okay.
there
So
you go.
if somebody does have an Infinity, what should they do? Contact their dealer or what should they do? Should
Do
they,
you know those clubs that you put on the steering wheel?
okay.
That's a preventive measure you could take for the vehicle. That's probably
Okay,
the
thank
most
you.
simplest one.
We'll get that out. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you for being here, Captain Dearlove. Appreciate
Uh,
it.
Thank you. I'll leave my contact info. And Captain Harris should be on. I think she's bouncing around with another MPU. If she's not on right now, she'll come in later in the meeting.
Okay, great. Yes, Captain Harris with Zone 6 with us. Yeah.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
excellent.
here.
Excellent. Welcome. Welcome, Captain.
Good evening. So zone 6, we too, like zone 2, we're down, but again, we are being plagued with theft from autos. And yes, and one thing I did want to say is we always caution, we tell victims not to encounter. We're starting to see an increase in escalated vehicle larcenies. So the victims will come out and see someone breaking into their car, and they will challenge the suspects. And then these suspects are walking around with guns. So we are encouraging people not to challenge them, just to call 911. That's one thing. And we are starting to see a slight uptick in burglaries, slight, very slight. So I would tell everyone, please make sure that you are activating your alarms, because a few burglaries we've had, the residents did not have their alarms activated. Make sure all your windows are locked. You have proper lighting. Just take all the proper necessary precautions around your home while you're away. Also, I wanted to make note there will be a lot of large events around the city. One this weekend, if you're not familiar, they're going to have the golf tournament at the East Lake, even though it's not in our area. But if you plan on coming in this area, also, in the next 2 weeks, we have Dragon Con coming up in the downtown area, so it will just be a lot of people influx into the city for Labor Day. It's also going to be the kickoff to the Chick-fil-A Peach Peach Bowl. And then, of course, we're getting closer to the FIFA World Cup. So, again, please protect yourselves as far as your home, your vehicles. We always promote the Clean Car campaign to clean your cars out. Don't leave anything in it, especially weapons. You know, they keep on coming back because they're fruitful. So, we ask you to keep your cars clean and clear of any valuables. And that is all I have for NPUF. And of course, we had one homicide. I think you all were familiar with that. That was unfortunately the active shooter that we had in the CDC area where the cab officer lost his life. So
Yeah, very,
that is
very sad.
all I have to report at this moment. And if anybody has any questions, I will take them at this time.
Any questions for Captain Harris?
I have one quick question. Regarding that active shooting situation, it really didn't cross my mind. You know, I live over near Ansley, but I did hear or read several comments online, you know, on all the normal social media places where people said kind of would have wanted to get some sort of notification. Like, what's the policy? What's the policy of how far and wide some sort of notification would go in a situation like that?
And when you say notification, you mean like
I,
maybe
I
like a
think they're.
shelter in place or something?
Yeah, I think they were kind of expecting some emergency notice over their phone or something. I'm not really certain.
I'd have to check into that. That's kind of I'd have to check. I'll check into that and get back to you all.
All right. Thank you, Captain Harris. Thanks, Tim. Yes, Kay.
Just to expand a little bit on what Tim was asking, I think, the city of Atlanta has the Code Red system where you can get text notifications or emails and so forth. Because the initial responding officers were DeKalb County and it's a little kind of on the borderline. There was a lot of confusion about where this was happening initially, whether it was on campus for the university or whether it was at CDC or at Emory Point or where it was. Maybe no one in city of Atlanta thought about activating that system. But I get notifications, Code Red notifications pretty regularly, and it seems to me that would have been the way to do that if law enforcement thought that that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and just to speak to what Kay said, it's kind of that's a funny area. So the CDC, which is 1600 Clifton Road, that is on the city, and where the shooter was standing on the side where the CVS is, that is, I don't know, that's kind of funny. They say it's the city, but I think the call came into DeKalb County, so that's kind of still up in the air. But yeah, it's like one side is the cab, the 911 calls come in, and then one side is the city.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions for Captain Harris?
Let us know what the meeting minutes are. Yeah, so we'll circle back to this. Yeah.
No. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Captain.
Thank you.
Change of ownership on.
Yeah, and by the way, I saw I heard in the background. I did just repost the meeting minutes and the full agendas in case anyone joined late. You can access those in the chat again. Okay, why don't we move on to APD code enforcement? Anyone here from code enforcement tonight?
Good evening, all. I'm Officer Palm with Code Enforcement, with APD Code Enforcement. I'm filling in for Officer Williams, who actually works this area, but I'm filling in for her tonight. I will start off with I hope everyone had a great evening and enjoying the day. But I'm also want to inform you about we're having a code enforcement officers that's coming in at 6 a.m. now. And they're coming out to serve citations. So you might get a code enforcement officer coming at 6 in the morning, knocking on your door. They're saying they're code enforcement, and they're coming out to serve citation. They're trying to attempt to serve the citation. Hopefully we can catch some of the people before they leave out for work. So during our business hour, we can catch some of the ones that we're trying to get the property into compliance. So when they come out, it's not a hose, it's not fake, no scam. They are actually coming out at 6 o'clock in the morning. And You also, if you have a problem, you can, call the office. You can call 311 and they can verify that this is a actual code enforcement officer. And they will have their ID and they will be in the city vehicles as well. So just, FYI for you. Also, I have been challenged to call about any unserved citations. We have citations that have not been served from 2020 or 2018. I have some even from 2018. So you get phone calls from me saying I'm Officer Palm from the City of Atlanta Code Enforcement. These are not scams. These are not hosts as well. I identify myself. And of course, you can always call the number back, Officer Parm. And I'm trying to get you to either come in and pick up your citation, or you can send me photos that you brought the property into compliance, and then I'll be able to close the case out if you send me the correct photos. So just giving you some updates on some things that we are implementing and doing, so you don't think you're being scammed or anything. I'm Officer Parm. I dropped my number and email in the chat, but I will give it to you out. And that is 404-295-6045. That's 404-295-6045. I know we sent the reports over as well. So if you have any questions or update, I don't take too much of your time. You can call me and ask me any questions about any property that you have some concerns about, or if you put in a complaint and trying to get an update, you can text me, call me, or you can email me at tparham@ga.gov.
If you could
Anyone
please
have
put
any
your
questions?
contact information in the chat.
I did.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, officer. I'm looking through the chat. I didn't see it. Is it Officer Parm? Parm?
Parham.
Yeah, I don't see it in the chat either.
Okay, I can put it again. I know I was in the beginning, so I
No,
will
no
include it
problem.
again.
All
Thank
right, well,
you.
thank you, officer. Appreciate it. Any questions for Officer Parm?
Okay,
All right. Well, thank you
and
so much
enjoy
for
your
being here
day.
tonight for that
Mhm.
report. Okay, why don't we move over to Atlanta 311? I think I saw Tamika earlier. There
Good
she is.
evening. How are you?
Doing great. How you doing, Tamika?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing double duty. So we're at the soccer court, soccer fields, but also doing this. So I'll be
Okay,
quick.
great.
Uh,
What would
I
you like
am
to share?
I'm Tamika Merriweather. I am your 311 ambassador for NPU-H. Of course, you guys know you can reach us always by dialing 311. I know I got to go through my long list. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Anyways,
I
but
know.
if you have an area code that does not start with the 404 678 770 or 470, or if you are not in the city limits, we ask that you dial the extended number at 404-546-0311. You can also email us at atl311 at Atlanta spelled out ga.gov. You can go online and chat with us at atl311.com. You can also download the app and submit your own cases. And last but not least, you can do the social media. Take a picture and at us at ATL311. We ask that you also include any information for previous cases so that we can help you look those things up. We do help with the non-emergency reporting and concerns. So anything with potholes, missed trash, traffic lights, water emergencies, not your meter, but water emergencies we can assist with. And pretty much that's all I have for you. And Notify Atlanta. I'm not sure if Notify ATL will do active shooters, but we do encourage you guys to do the Notify Atlanta so that you can get the report, the text of water outages and any other things that the city might be involved in. We also have our survey in the chat. We encourage you guys to fill that out. We would love to hear from you how we can do better or what we're doing great so we can keep doing it. Other than that, my supervisor's information is in the chat, and Pat's information is also in the chat. Remember, we are here Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to midnight, and that's for Pat and 311. Have a good one.
Great. Thank you, Tamika. Any questions for Ms. Merriweather? I have a quick one.
Okay.
The intersection of North Highland and East Rock Springs, if we wanted to get the signage changed there, what's the best way? Is that a 311 ticket or is there a better
Yes.
way to handle that?
What's wrong with it? Is it
Well,
faded?
I think it's confusing. There's those that are headed that know in the area. If you're heading northbound on North Highland, eventually the road splits, but before East Rock Springs, there's two sets of signs. And I think the first set is redundant. It's over the intersection of East Rock Springs as opposed to the split at at what is, I guess it would be Lenox and Johnston. So um, people are always confused about which lane to be in, and they try to go forward and they kind of it creates a tight merge situation right after the intersection before the split. So I think it's an easy fix. I recommend we take down one set of signs.
Yes. So yeah, that would be a 311 call. We would put in a ticket with transportation, with those suggestions. We also do for the faded signs as well as the signs that may have fallen or were hit.
Okay.
Anything to that magnitude. Yes, let us
No
know and
problem.
we can get it put in. And you said that was North Highland and what?
Yeah, it's a North Highland and East Rock Springs.
East Rock.
Specifically, if you're northbound on North Highland. But I can go ahead and put a ticket in. I don't need to.
Okay.
I'll be happy to
Okay.
do that.
All
Great.
right. Thank you.
No problem. What is there a question from Tony Cash?
Yes, I just wanted to know. I live near the intersection of Montgomery Ferry and Monroe Drive, and that intersection keeps having problems after problems after problems. And so I just wanted to know what can, for instance, right now the one of the walk signals is not working, but literally they've worked on that intersection several times in the last 2 months, and it's always something going on. So what can we do when we have chronic issues with the exact same intersection?
So, speaking specifically to the walk cross signal, you would give us a call and we'll put a ticket in, whether it's a timing issue or it's just not working. I do know some areas, I don't know what it is, but somebody keeps unwiring them. Um, it's weird, but we put a ticket in, we get someone back out and go from there. It could be something with the Atlanta heat and the wiring. I'm not sure, but when you is it just the crosswalk, the crossing signal, or you mean more like turns and?
Well, I know that there's they want to change that intersection because there have been a lots of accidents and such like that. But we've been having all kinds of problems with the lights, and they just installed some new lights, but they've had to come back like 4 times in the last like month because everything keeps going out. And one of the also the issues that they have is that for some reason they keep putting the lights too low, and there are a
Mhm.
lot of tall trucks.
And they're hitting them.
They keep hitting them.
Yeah, I think I talked to a lady about it, a different area, but they kept hitting and it was hanging on, and she's like, "Get somebody out here now because if it falls, it's over with, right?" So I definitely understand, and those are all tickets that you would give a 311 or reach out to 311 about in regards to whether the light is not working, whether it's a timing thing, or we're about to impede on an accident because the light was hit, the traffic signal was hit.
Okay, I just wanted to just let you know because it's just that the crews have been out there. Sometimes I've mentioned problems to them, but they don't fix the problem. So I guess the thing is like they're only there to fix that one problem. If there's other
Yeah,
problems, they just don't fix
yeah,
it.
they because sometimes you guys will put everything together, and if it's not in like that ticket, they have to have somebody else come out. What's that intersection again?
Montgomery Ferry and Monroe Road. Montgomery Ferry and Monroe
I
Drive.
think that's the one. I think that's the one that the lady called me about. But yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you. You guys have a good one.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Tamika. I really appreciate you being here tonight. Okay. Why don't we move on? How about Public Works Code Enforcement? Anyone here from Public Works Code Enforcement?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Sweet Officer Spurlock here on behalf of the Department of Public Works. I serve as the Sweet Officer for you guys' NPU. The Solid Waste Education and Enforcement Team serves to promote public safety, public health, and the welfare of the citizens of the City of Atlanta. Sweet oversees enforcement for all sanitation regulations for the City of Atlanta, including proper provisions for proper storage, collection, disposal of solid waste, recycling, and illegal dumping, as well as guidelines for residential yards and commercial establishments. This month, for you guys at NPU, I would like to remind you that on next Monday, not the Monday that's coming, but the Monday afterwards, you will have a delay in service. So please be aware of that. Please place your garbage cans on the day after that you're scheduled for. Also, if your trash or your yard debris is missed, please make sure that you contact ATL 311 to make sure that they are notified that they missed your neighborhood, your street. Also, if you see something, say something when it as it relates to illegal dumping. Illegal dumping is a crime in the city of Atlanta. Lastly, before you're calling into 311, I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation. If I'm calling on my neighbor and my neighbor lives at 256 Brianna Court, I'm just giving you a hypothetical address. Please make sure when you're reporting it to ATL 311 that you give them your neighbor's address or the address that you're reporting and not your home address. Because a lot of times I've seen in a lot of different NPUs, because I cover, I believe, 6 NPUs. A lot of people are sending in reports, but it's for the house that's around the corner, or it's a neighboring house that's on a different street. And sometimes officers aren't as vigilant and they might miss it. And you guys are complaining that we're not getting it done, but you set the wrong address. So please make sure that you're sending the address of the violation to be sent to us so we can address it as such. I left my information in the chat and I'll open the floor for any questions. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Rich, got a question? Rich, you're muted. Rich, you're muted.
Okay, so I live in Lynbridge Martin Manor, and the last couple garbage pickups, particularly the recyclable pickups, glass was left on the ground after the recycling truck went by and sort of ground up everything. And I think probably the sweeper got it, but only the sweeper comes like once a quarter. What is the official policy for putting glass in the recycling bins? Is it tolerated, not tolerated? Because when it's ground up, and I know if the rubber thing doesn't work well, it falls on the street. So what do you advise?
Um, Uh, I'll have to get back with you on and go look up the ordinance specifically. I do believe that it's permitted, but I'm not specific. If you have any glass that's on your street, you can give me any specific addresses, and I can go put in a request for them to come and remove it before the street sweepers come. I know that's happened a lot in different areas as well. They're noticing glass that's being left on the street, because the crew, they may not see it, and they're pretty busy, so they just keep going. But if you give it to us, or if you email it to me, or if you text it to me in this chat, I'll go over tomorrow and get it
Okay,
cleaned
good.
up.
I see your information in the chat. Well, I'll make sure that our residents in Lynbridge Martin Manor have that information. And perhaps in some subsequent Mondays, you'll be notified. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rich. Any other questions for Officer Spurlock? All right, well, thank you for being here, Officer. All right, moving on. Parks and Rec. Anyone here from Parks and Rec? Okay, how about watershed management?
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Aisha Brown, and I am your ambassador for Department of Watershed Management.
Welcome.
So, you're welcome. Thank you. So, NPU-F is involved in the Clean Water Atlanta Consent program. And what's going to be going on is that there's going to be contractor as well as subcontractors that are going to be performing sewer mainline, sewer service, lateral evaluation, and sewer construction work. So the hours are going to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, also including Saturdays as needed. They're going to all work is going to be scheduled also weather permitting. So there's going to be lane and road closures in order to complete the work, traffic control measures. Some residents, business, schools, and places of worship near the work zone will continue to be accessible. So if you have additional information, we do have 2 public information officers, which I will put both their names, contact number, as well as email. So the public information officers are Barry Brown and Mark Scott. They can be reached at 404-546-3200. Again, that's 404-546-3200, as well as you can email them at dwmcommunications with the S at the end at Atlanta, spelled out, ga.gov. Again, I'm going to put this information in the chat, as well as I will re-put my information in there as well. And that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for your time.
Excellent. Thanks, Ms. Brown. Any questions for anyone? All right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. How about City of Atlanta or the county solicitor? The city solicitor or county solicitor?
Good evening. I'm Janelle Bowles. I am from the City of Atlanta Solicitor's Office. I do not have a report, but just wanted to be here, and I will put my information in the chat in case you have any questions.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Any questions for Ms. Bowles? No? All right. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. How about, last but certainly not least, I see Mr. Clyde Mitchell is with us from the Office of the Ombudsman.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Clyde Mitchell. I'm your Neighborhood Relationship Manager in the Office of the Ombudsman of Neighborhoods. My contact information is already in the chat. If I need to put it back in there, I will do so. But do as you're currently doing. Please be in touch if we can assist you. We can surface concerns to departments, help you find information. We mediate discord and explore options to resolve outstanding constituent and neighborhood issues. I saw Susan I believe she's present this evening. 517 Rock Springs. I did send information out again on yesterday, and I think Officer Andrea Williams is sending me an email. So we're waiting on that. So hopefully we can have that for you tomorrow on that particular case. But keep doing what you're doing, NPU-F. We're glad to help. That's all I have, Tom.
All right. Thank you, Clyde. I appreciate it. Any questions for Mr. Mitchell? All right. Well, thank you for being here, and thanks for helping us over the past month. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Did I miss any of the city departments?
Fulton County is here.
Oh, great. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Demetrius Mayed. I'm the new court administrator for the Fulton County Magistrate Court Judge, representing Chief Magistrate Court Judge Cassandra Kirk. Just wanted to come around and introduce myself as kind of the new kid on the block. I'll be attending these NPU meetings quite frequently and often. And Judge Kirk does plan on to attend next month's meeting just to kind of give an update on the successes of the Magistrate Court, the cases we've been able to process and close throughout the year. So this is our 10th anniversary. And so we just want to make sure that we go around and let the community know what we're doing, and the importance of the Magistrate Court and the role as it plays throughout the lives of our constituents in Fulton County. So my information is in the chat. If you need me or need anything from the Magistrate Court, please feel free to reach out and contact me at any time. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. I'll I'm glad to hear you're going to be a quasi regular, so I'll add you to our list.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any other city departments that I may have missed? Okay. Well, with that, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, which is comments from elected officials. Let's see. Is Alex Wan with us tonight?
Hey, Tom, I'm here.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good. Good evening, everyone. Alex Wan, Atlanta City Council District 6. I'm going to make this quick because I know that it's already 8 o'clock and y'all aren't even to your voting line. In the chat, I'm going to dropped a link for the Monroe Drive Safer Streets project. We finally got the Q&A document from the community meeting that was held earlier this summer. It is 19 pages long. You can find it on the link, but they covered all the questions that were raised about specific intersections and then things that flow along the corridor. Just as a quick status update, they are already into conversations about 3 required easements that they're going to need to construct the project, but they are also trying to find a way that if there's ways to extract other parts of the project so they can start in advance of getting those easements, they're going to try and do that as well. Second project I'm going to drop is Cheshire Bridge. There, a couple months ago, since the last time I was at NPU, there was a community meeting about the Cheshire Bridge improvements. And I've dropped a link there where you can go and you can see the designs. There is a part of it that's going to be a road diet. There are other just some safety enhancements along the way for pedestrians as well as vehicular traffic. So take a look at that. That's not slated to get underway until well into next year. So, but they're just starting the community meetings regarding that. While I'm talking about Cheshire Bridge, just wanted y'all to be aware. I think the neighborhood associations are aware. Selig owns the property that the Colonnade is on. They have expressed their intent and interest in tearing down the motel, not the Colonnade. So all of us Colonnade lovers, we're okay. But because of liability reasons and just concerns over the activities at the motel, that they are going to look into trying to do that. I think it's pretty quick. I think they want to try and do it within the next 3 to 6 months. So they're going through the neighborhood associations. I know they've talked to folks, but just wanted you to be aware. They do not yet have plans, specific plans in terms of redevelopment. This is not a dark of night trying to get something built. They're just trying to be very upfront about what they need to do or what they would like to do now out of need. And then finally, Fire Station 29. Councilmember Shook and I introduced legislation on Monday's meeting to start the process of identifying funding and all. That station is being proposed to move to the over by Sidney Marcus and Piedmont. It'll become a larger station that will include EMS. And we're talking about maybe breaking ground as early as the end of this year. So it's going to move pretty fast. So just wanted y'all to know it'll actually give better access, ingress and egress, and better coverage for our part of town. Tom, those were the 4 things that I had that I wanted to share with everybody. But if you have time, I'm happy to take any questions. And then at the end, I'll drop my contact information in the chat as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. Any questions for Alex, District 6?
Oh, can I go back and say on the Monroe Drive, the question earlier about Montgomery Ferry and Monroe, there is, if you look at the design, there is a little bit of reconfiguration on that, but the Piedmont Heights Civic Association, Emily Sean Brown, has been a great advocate. We are working with ADOT to try and identify more funding to come and maybe do a more substantial redesign of that intersection. It's bad. It's improperly aligned, and that causes a lot of the accidents, but they're non-exclusive. We're going to try and move forward with Monroe and then keep finding money to do more while we're doing that. So sorry, just want to add that in for Tanya.
Great. Rich, do you have a question?
Alex, is the location of the new firehouse been set yet? Is it on Piedmont? Yes. Is it on the west side of Piedmont?
Yes, it is. It is on the side that if you turn like you're going into the Chick-fil-A, there's a Chase Bank. It's kind of back.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's great.
Great. All right. Any other questions for Alex?
Okay, I'll drop my contact information.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right. How about District 2? Amir? No, okay. District 5, Liliana? No. What about Councilmember Michael Bond, post 1? All right. How about at the state level? State representatives. Anyone? Stacey Evans? No? Okay. And Fulton County Commissioners? All righty. Well, with that, we will move on to our matters for voting. We are going to start with the consent agenda, item number 6 on our agenda. Again, if you're here when I call an event, just please come on camera and let me know you are present. So we'll start with our special events, our mayor office of special events. The first is the AIDS Walk Atlanta and Music Festival. Now, we've already voted on this. For those of you who think we may have deja vu, we approved it. It's only in front of us again because there is a rain date change. The rain date has moved to October 5th of this year. The event itself is scheduled to be on September 27th. It's a Class D event, 3,000 participants. Yeah, Susan, is there a question or you just let me know you're here? Susan, I see your
Hi,
hand.
sorry. Yeah, I was just letting you know I'm here. So sorry.
Excellent. I appreciate you letting me know. Technically, you didn't even need to be here because you've already been here once. So we're a one-stop shop. But we are recommending.
Well, I appreciate you guys hearing us again.
Great. Well, thank you for being here. We are recommending support. And again, this is only the change the rain date. We've already supported the festival itself. The next one is Concert in the Park. It's a Class D event, just under 10,000 participants. It's going to be held in Piedmont Park on November 19th. Our recommendation is to support. Is Justin Richardson here?
I am here.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. All right, moving on. The next is Fitness Atlanta. It's a Class E event, 1,000 participants in Piedmont Park. Is Miss Zakia Lewis or Brad Lewis? Any of the Lewises here? Anyone officially representing Fitness ATL? Okay, looks like I'm not seeing anyone. That's a no-show. I'm going to remove them from the consent agenda. Let me just keep my record straight here. Okay. Let's go on to the Board of Zoning adjustments. Wiley, you want to run us through the 2 on the consent agenda?
Sure. So the first one on the consent agenda is in Virginia Highland. It is at 968 Virginia Avenue. Applicant seeking a variance for zoning to reduce east yard setback from the required 7 feet to 5.3 feet, reduce the half depth front yard from 17.5 to 4.1, and increase the maximum lot coverage from 50% to 51%. The Civic Association voted to support. Kevin, do you have any comment about that?
No, we did a site visit. Planning committee voted to support, and we had unanimous support from the board.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next one is Orm Circle V25163. Applicant seeks a variance from the zoning ordinance to reduce the front yard from 35 feet to 2 feet, reduce the east yard setback from required 7 feet to 3 feet 6 inches. Again, Virginia Highland. Kevin, do you have any comments on that one?
Same thing. We did a site visit and have some support from the board.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Wiley. Appreciate that. So, as I said, I'm going to remove Fitness ATL from the consent agenda. But other than that, is there anyone here who is in opposition to any of these recommendations? If you are, please raise your virtual hands. All right, is there any application here that somebody wants to be removed from the consent agenda other than the one I mentioned, so we can discuss it at its regular place on the agenda? That goes for anyone that's a member of the NPU or anyone here that's representing the applicant either. Okay, I'm not seeing any. So may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of Fitness Atlanta?
So moved.
So moved.
I'll
All
second.
right, was that Rich? I think I heard first. And is that was that Wiley?
Yeah, I'll
Wiley, we'll
second.
put you down as a second. Any discussion on the motion? All right. All in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda, less fitness ATL, please raise your virtual hands now. All right, I'm saying 13 ayes, and I will lower your hands. Anyone object? Anyone object or any nays to this motion? All right, I'm not seeing any, so by a vote of 13-0, the consent agenda recommendations are adopted.
Thank you for your support this evening. Y'all have a good meeting.
Thank you, Nina. Appreciate it. Okay. Keep me honest. Okay, that concludes our consent agenda. From here, we are going to go on to the other matters for voting on the main agenda. We're going to go back to the special events. Let's start with the Shaky Knees Music Festival. Again, this one's been amended. The site plan's been updated, I believe. It's going to be in Piedmont Park, 1320 Monroe Drive. It's a 3-day event, September 19th through the 21st. It's a gated event. Is Tim Sweetwood with us?
I don't believe Tim was able to join us, but I'm Oscar Pena here to speak towards Shaky Knees.
Excellent. Well, welcome, Oscar. What would you like to tell us about the festival?
Sure. Shaky Knees has been going on for over a decade here in Atlanta. Most recently, we were over in Central Park for the last few years, and we're now moving into Piedmont. Like you mentioned, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 19th to the 21st of September. Our door times on Friday, we're opening at 4 and we'll shut it down at 11 p.m. Saturday will be 11:30 to 11, and then Sunday 11:30 to 10:30. Um, the areas we'll be using would be the Meadow and Oak Hill, along with kind of that Park Tavern area there as well. We will have a road closure. We've been able to significantly drop that down to only kind of interrupting for about a week from Monday the 15th to Monday the 22nd. It'll be eastbound lane traffic. Um, I think we have our community portal up with information specific to traffic maps, accessible areas, how to contact us. We're working with Chris Clark and APD for traffic control during that time as well. Um, it's my understanding that we're going to have a tow truck on standby to help mitigate any people who are trying to park in the neighborhoods. Um, Additionally, I know that we're permitted to have trash pickup 3 blocks outside of our area, our perimeter, but we've also committed to have a pretty much a hit squad with a 3 block outside of that 3 block radius to kind of help if you're starting to see anything that's really an eyesore problematic for anybody in the community. We're not promoting driving or parking. We're going to be really pushing MARTA, taking the belt, taking the belt line, riding your bike, using scooters and everything like that. Um, but yeah, we're really excited to come into the park and and try to put on a successful event.
Okay, great. Any questions for Oscar for Shaky Knees? Questions, concerns, comments? All right. Well, that's, I guess, a good sign. Can I have a motion on shaky knees?
I'll move to support.
Thank you, Kay. Can I have a second?
Second by Kevin Cronin.
Thank you, Kevin. Any discussion on the motion? All right, let's take it to a vote. Those in favor of the motion to recommend approval of shaky knees, please raise your hands. All right, I'm counting 12 ayes. Let me lower your hands. Anyone opposed to the motion to approve shaky knees, please raise your hand. Okay, by a count of 12 ayes and 0 nays, shaky knees will be recommended. Congratulations, Oscar. Thanks for being here.
Really appreciate it. And Mimi was able to drop in the chat too a link to our community portal to where if anybody needs to get response times or find any of that information, it's easily accessible there. And we look forward to joining you all in September. Thanks,
All
y'all.
right. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Okay, the next item, another special event. Let's see, we covered the rain date for Age Walk Atlanta on consent. So we're up for a neighborhood event. This is the Virginia Row Block Party. It's up at 1189 Virginia Ave. I think it's the corner of Rosedale and Virginia Ave. November 8th and 9th, I think it is. Is it Tiara Ashley Saunders with us?
Hi, yeah, it's Ashley.
Ashley, I'm sorry.
I think I put my first name on there, so I don't
No problem.
know.
What would you like to tell us about the event?
Well, this will be our second year doing, this will be like our second year doing like a block party, but this will be hopefully like closing off the street from that corner to the end of that row of businesses. I think it's 1177 Virginia Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to have like holiday market vendors and some live music. There's a music school right next door. There's like kids that learn to play instruments, and so they're gonna put on some music. I own the coffee shop, Ash Coffee, so we're gonna have food and drink at the coffee shop, and some crafts, fall activities, and yeah, we have a officer coming from an elementary school for the off-duty officer. And
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay, Kay, do you have a question?
I did read through your application, but I just want to make sure you're not planning on serving any alcohol. Is that right?
No alcohol, no.
Okay. And you're basically just going to, in that sort of half block, have tents with some vendors, and then folks be able to come in and out of Ash Coffee and the other businesses there. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And the hours again that you're going to be running this on the 8th and 9th?
10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Is that both days, or is one of those
Both
days set up?
days.
Both days.
Mhm.
Okay. That's all I had questions.
Great. And Ashley, just so I'm clear, this is not a Virginia Highland District sponsored event, right? This is kind of you and the
No,
local.
no. Yeah, we're like calling ourselves Virginia Row because we're kind
Okay.
of tucked away.
No worries. Just trying to keep all the
Yeah.
different groups straight in my head here. All right. Are there any other questions for Ashley? Okay. If not, why don't we open it up for a motion?
I'll move to support.
Thank you, Kay. Do we have a second?
Second, Kevin Cronin.
Thank you, Kevin. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay, I'm counting 11, 12 in favor. I'll clear the feedback. Any opposed to the motion? Please raise your hands. Okay, seeing none, by a vote of 12 to 0, the motion carries. We will recommend approval of the Virginia Row Block Party. All right, thank you, Ashley. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right. Next up on the agenda, another neighborhood event. This is the North Highland Wine Walk. This one, I believe, is sponsored by Virginia Highland District. Premier Events is managing it. Wants to be at the Morningside Business or Village Business area at 1424 North Highland Ave on November 9th. Is Laura, is it Valenti? Is that how
It is.
Excellent,
It is.
excellent.
Hi, how are you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good.
What would you like to tell us?
So this is a first year event, indeed sponsored and produced by the Virginia Highlands District Association. It is November the 9th, 2 to 5 p.m. It is a wine walk. It will be ticketed. There's no gates, no street closures. It is a kickoff for Restaurant Week, and we're in the Morningside Village shopping area where we'll have a gathering spot in the parking lot where Doc Shays is, the doc part of the Doc Shays parking lot. And then, guests will be able to visit various businesses along the Morningside Village shopping area where there'll be stations with activities and wine stations and other fun things to do. So great little community event and great way to come out and meet neighbors.
Excellent, excellent. And you mentioned it's a ticketed event. Do you happen to know how much the tickets are by any chance?
I believe they're going to be either 30 or 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for Laura on this event? I know Marla, you had mentioned that Morningside Lenox Park had reviewed it and you were okay with it, right?
Correct.
All right. Kay, do you have a question?
Yeah, Laura, who's handling security for the event, or do you need security?
It'll be Chris Clark on
Okay.
it. Yeah.
That's good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Chris is a popular guy in our NPU.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Any other questions? All right. May I have a motion?
I'll move to support.
All right. Thank you, Kay. A second? Is that Rich? All right. Rich is waving at me, so I'm going to assume that's a support. Any discussion on the motion? Let's take it to a vote. Those in favor of supporting the North Highland Wine Walk, please raise your hands. All right, I'm counting 10 in favor. I'm going to lower your hands. Any opposed to supporting North Highland Wine Walk? All right. Seeing none, by a vote of 10 to 0, the North Highland Wine Walk passes and moves on with a recommendation of support. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate you being here. Good luck with your event.
Thank you.
All righty. Moving along, let's see. We covered concert in the park under the consent agenda, so we're good there. But we removed fitness ATL from the consent agenda. Are either of the Lewises here or anyone representing fitness ATL? All right, I'm not seeing anyone. Can we have a motion to defer?
I'll move to defer to our September meeting.
Thank you, Kay. And I have a second. Rich, thank you. Now, is there anyone opposed to the motion to defer? If you're opposed to this motion, please raise your hand. Seeing none, the motion to defer carries with no opposition. Okay, next is the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Music Festival. It's going to be in Piedmont Park, 3-day event, June 19th through 21st. Class D event, about 8,500 people. Not a new event. We've seen this before. Mr. Bob Johnson or Brad Lewis, are either of you present or anyone here representing the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Music Fest? No one for Juneteenth. Can I have a motion to defer?
Move to
Move to
defer.
defer to our September meeting.
I'll
All
second.
right, I heard Rich first, and he got off a mute that time, so I'm going to give him first billing. Kay, I'm going to put you down as the second. Anyone opposed to the motion to defer, please raise your hand. Seeing none, the motion to defer carries. Okay, well that wraps it up for the Moe's events. Next, we will move on to alcohol licenses. I happen to know the alcohol licensing chair very well. So let me pull that up. Okay, so we only have one item on the agenda for alcohol. It is Midtown Bowl. It's considered a restaurant. It's yeah, I think we all know where it is, 1936 Piedmont Circle. This is a change of ownership. Um, I think I saw, is it, help me with a name, is it Miss Elizabeth, is it Feichter?
It's Feichter. Yep.
Feichter, okay, I got it right. Well, welcome.
Sorry, Austrian.
Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. What would you like to tell us about your plans for Midtown Bowl?
Well, Midtown Bowl has been a staple of the Midtown and Piedmont Heights neighborhood for many, many years. And the Southern Hospitality Group, we are called Southern Midtown in this case, is honored to take it over. It's been a many-year tradition running, and we're excited to step in and help to add some management. Our background and expertise is in restaurant development and management and running those. So we're going to try to do a few things to the menu to bring some old favorites back to life, but also keep running the old standbys. Midtown Bowl will not be changing. It will be the ever-loved same institution that it always has been. So not a lot new there. We're not changing the hours. We're not changing the concept. We're not changing the fun, kitschy vibe. We're just hoping to keep running it and keep doing justice by it.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. Well, I did also want to thank you for attending, or I believe one of your representatives, Kelly Campbell, attended
My partner. Yep.
Yeah, the Piedmont Heights Civic Association meeting a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he said it went wonderfully.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. So appreciate that. Just in the interest of time, maybe I'll just recap a couple of the items that were discussed there, and
sure.
Please keep me honest if I say anything that doesn't sound right. So again, I guess Perennial is the property owner.
Yes, correct.
And that's not changing. They're also the business owner. You're just here to change the operation company, right?
Yep, we're just a management company that steps in and helps support. Perennial is obviously an apartment developer and chose not to get rid of Midtown Bowl and build apartments, but instead keep it, but brought us on to help add a little bit to the food and beverage side of things. So
great. Yeah, I know Perennial's been a good partner to the Piedmont Heights
they're
Civic
wonderful.
Association.
They're a great neighbor.
Excellent. Yeah. So the only thing we're changing is the management company. I know that the LLC, Stern, or have you have multiple liquor licenses around town?
We do.
And I know,
so many.
Yeah, you've got a great history. You started out and doing some nonprofits, things like that. So
yeah. I've sat on the event side of these NPU meetings for many, many years.
Yeah. So all that history and past experience looks good to us. There are really no major issues at any of these other businesses, no alcohol infractions. As you mentioned, no significant changes to operating hours. Some minor things, updating menus. Yep, you talked about all that.
Yeah.
Still fundamentally operating as a bowling alley that happens to serve
we're
drinks
still
and food.
there are 32 lanes of bowling.
Yeah, there you go.
Come one, come all.
All right, you're not turning it into a hookah bar or anything like that.
I'm not.
Let's see. And so we talked at the Piedmont Heights meeting about some, minor physical changes, repairing roofs.
Yeah. We
seating,
had to
special
replace the
events.
roof after the last storm, but we're hopefully doing a little bit of cleanup.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. Let's see, you're zoned a PD and the Beltline overlay. Um, any questions or comments from the larger community? If there are, please raise your hand.
Everyone wants to come bowling, Tom.
I think so, yeah, including me. My orthopedic says I shouldn't, but you know,
Come
we
on.
need a couple of beers will loosen that back right up.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm not seeing any glaring red flags. Bill, I know you're with us. Do you want to tell us about the Piedmont Heights Civic Association votes?
Hey, Tom, Bill Compton, President, Piedmont Heights Civic Association. We voted unanimously to support this application.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Thanks, Bill.
All right. If there's no other questions or comments on this, why don't we open it up to a motion?
This is Bill Compton. I move to support.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Do we have a second?
Second, Kevin Cronin.
All right. I saw Wiley's hand, but I heard Kevin. So we'll give Kevin billing rights there. Any discussion on the motion? All right. We'll open it up to a vote. Those in favor of the motion to approve Midtown Bowls license, please raise your hands. All right, looks like we've leveled off at 12 ayes. I'm clearing the feedback. Any opposed to the motion to approve Midtown Bowl? All right, seeing no nays by a vote of 12 to 0, the motion carries. We are recommending Midtown Bowl for approval. All right, well, thank you very much, Ms.
Thank you.
Fleischer. Appreciate for being here, and you're welcome to stay to the end of the meeting, but
I
we got
may
a ways
bow.
to go
You guys
yet.
have a lovely meeting. Come bowling, everybody.
I wish
Thanks.
I could do the same, but I'm here for the duration. Thank you
Over
for
soon
joining us.
enough.
All right, have a
Cheers.
good night.
Have a good Wednesday. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, let's see. So let's move on to our BZA Board of Zoning issues. We covered a couple of them on the consent, but I think Wiley, we've got one more, right?
Right.
Why don't you take it
I
away?
see. Well, I suggest we handle the one that was added at the end of this.
Right.
So let's start with V25-158. The applicant seeks a special exception variance from the zoning to rear yard setback from 15 feet to 4.5 feet. This is in Piedmont Heights. I believe the applicant is here. Laura Fernando, could you give us a rundown on your project?
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, happy to be here. So we're looking to add a 3-season porch on top of our deck. So our current deck is already at the kind of setback reduction that we're requesting, but because we're extending it slightly along our house, that new section requires approval for the setback as well. So the houses in our cul-de-sac have an HOA. I think it's 7 houses. The HOA's approved it and reviewed our application. And that's about it.
Tim or Bill, do you have a comment about what Piedmont Heights had to say about it?
Yeah, I'll step in here. Yeah, I did an on-site visit and reviewed the plans with the current deck, and as she said, they're staying within the current footprint of the deck for the most part in regards to the setback, but they are extending a little further down their house that will reduce that setback there as well. So that's the need for their variance. In a side conversation, it's towards the end of not side conversation, but at the end of our meeting, we did ask that the homeowner contact the neighbor behind them. Initially, we had not requested that because the house behind them is a very deep yard. and the house on that lot is loaded towards the front, and she's more towards the rear, so there was very little impact. But we did ask ultimately that she reach out to them, and she did via text message. Apparently the homeowner's out of the country, but did respond once or twice to her text message, but never responded with any concerns when asked. So we do have screen captures from that.
How did the planning committee vote on this?
Yeah, Piedmont Heights voted unanimously to support the application variance.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have a motion, Tim?
Yep. Having said that, our motion is to support this variance application. Is
there a second?
Second, Kevin Cronin.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there any discussion of the motion? I don't see anything. All right, so let's go ahead and vote on the motion to approve or recommend support of V25-158. Raise your hands.
Like we're leveling off at 11, Wiley.
That's what I got.
All right, I'll clear the hands down.
All right. Anyone opposed to the motion to support V25-158? All right. I don't see any. The motion passes to support V25-158.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And finally, the last one in section is the latest one that he added, and that is U25011, which is a special use permit request for Clifton School. This is in Linridge Martin Manor. And is the applicant Ms. Scott here to talk about that?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone. And I do want to take time just to acknowledge that the director, Natalie Fagan, who is really an unsung hero of the shootings that happened literally at their doorstep over in Emory a couple of weeks ago, is here in support as well. I am here on behalf of Early Learning Property Management Incorporated and the Clifton School. We're seeking approval for a child care center to operate at 1146 Sheridan Road. There will be approximately, or rather up to 175 children ages ranging from 6 weeks to 6 years old, operating weekdays from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Now, I do want to let you know that the Clifton School has a long-standing mission of providing state-of-the-art childcare throughout the metro area and education for families connected to Emory University, the CDC, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and other Emory students that are connected to the campus. And so our application really just built on that mission by addressing and growing the need for safe, high quality early learning in our community. So a lot of the people that live in the community actually work in the CDC area, et cetera. And so we, again, are seeking approval for the operation of a daycare center. It has previously operated as a daycare center as well. It would be operated exclusively as a daycare center without any additional community events, et cetera. And so, again, we are seeking your support.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions, but I think we'll let the Linridge Martin Manor cover that. And then if you don't ask the questions that I have, then I'll ask my questions. Rich?
Sure. Linridge Martin Manor is very happy that the space is being occupied by a school. It was previously Easter Seals, same sort of kids, well, different kids, but catered to the same age group. Before that, it was a church. We used to meet at that church back in the last century. And we are very, very happy that they're going in there. Sort of notice to the parents that traffic on Sheridan gets a little crazy in the morning and in the afternoon. So your parents should be aware of that, but we are just thrilled that you're going in there. Also be aware that the property next to you, that old Regions Bank property, has been a problem area. It's sort of under control right now. So if you see anything wrong, please notify 911.
I definitely will. And we actually had the opportunity to meet with Debbie and other individuals from Lynn Ridge. And so one of the things that I made mention of is the fact that we would definitely match the individuals, the teachers out there, et cetera, to support the movement of traffic during those peak hours. And so it's not something where we're just going to let parents get out on their own. They're going to be very organized. And I don't know if you've ever sat through the car line before, but usually it is like a seamless process. It's kind of like sitting in a Chick-fil-A, right? Like it looks like it's going to take forever, but it doesn't.
I'm glad you're addressing that because the folks on Elizabeth Ann, which is the next street over there, complain every once in a while about the traffic on Sheridan, but I'm sure you have it under control, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rich, so those were the questions that I had with regard to the traffic with 175 cars arriving at 6 or 6:30 in the morning, and then another 175 cars arriving at close. What plans do you have in place to either have an officer directing traffic? Do you have a plan in place to only allow right turns in and out and not a left turn out of the place? It's a narrow section of road with very little shoulder. And I can just imagine the situation like you have over on 10th Street with the children's school, and that's a 3-lane road with a parking lane. So what plans do you have in place to manage the traffic during those drop-off and pickup hours?
Right. And so during those drop off and pickup hours, there is a little curb that you turn into. So they would make a right and then go all the way through the curb and back out. And again, we would have teachers helping to facilitate that, as well as people that work within the facility. And so granted, there will be more traffic, but I think that that's a workable solution around it. Also, the employee parking will be located near Sheridan Road to separate it from the drop off. And so I believe it's the first 6 spaces, and it's very similar to what was passed before to address those concerns. And so again, we're going to keep the traffic moving by having individuals out, making that right turn in and coming back out, and having individuals there to assist the kids getting in and out.
And so it's
Karen,
only
in that, Director Fagan.
So it's only right turn in and only right turn out?
And I believe Director Fagan wanted to mention something as well.
Yeah, hi, I'm Natalie Fegan. I'm the executive director at the Clifton School. So we also, the majority of our families are from Emory University and Emory Hospital. And a lot of them work at Executive Park. And so we have been working with the university for the Emory Shuttle to be able to transport families and help with drop off to the childcare center. They already come down Sheridan. The Emory Shuttle already comes down Sheridan. They just need to travel just a little bit further to reach the childcare center.
Okay. That was it for my question, Steve. Rich, do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. We'll just sort of monitor that situation. If any problems do exist, just work with the neighborhood association and police department, and we'll look for a solution. Because again, we're happy that that building is occupied. Yes, I'd like to make a motion to support U25011.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kay. All right. Any discussion of the motion? All right. All those in favor of the motion to support U25011, please raise your hands.
Like we're leveling off at 9. 4. I'll lower the hands.
Thank you. All right. Anyone opposed to the motion to support U25011? All right. Looks like the motion carries 9 to
Thank you
nothing.
so much. And we're here to be good neighbors too. So if you need anything, I am always here. I'll drop my contact information in the chat.
All right, Karen, I'm glad we were able
Thank
to.
you so much.
Finally.
Glad we were able to squeeze this one in. It looks like you were on glide path now for what is it? Not the BZA, it's the R Board of Zoning Review. I get the acronym.
BRB.
There you go. That's the one. Looks like you're all set for that.
Thank you.
It's up to the city now. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's only a recommendation.
Very good. All right. Thank you for being here. Okay. Thanks, Wiley. Appreciate you handling that one for us. Okay. We have one more matter to vote on tonight. Last month, we heard a presentation on the Piedmont Heights development plan. I think Nate and Bill Compton presented that. So tonight we are taking that to a vote. Bill, do you have anything you want to say about that?
We did review and gave a summary of our new Piedmont Heights master plan last month. So no further to add to that.
Okay. Great. And obviously you guys recommend approval, the Piedmont Heights Civic Association.
We unanimously recommend approval.
I assume that was the case, but yeah, we'll get it on the record.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone want to make a motion on this Piedmont Heights master plan?
This is Bill Compton. I so move.
All right. Move to support. Yep. Got it. A second.
Second.
Ellis, from Piedmont Heights, seconds.
All right. Wiley, I'll give it to Susan. You guys had a tie.
That's fine.
She's a member of Piedmont Heights, so we'll keep it in the family.
There you go.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion to support Piedmont Heights master plan, please raise your hands. All right. Looks like we're leveling off at 7, so I will lower your hands. Any opposed to the motion to approve Piedmont Heights master plan? Please raise your hand. All right.
Please make sure that goes down as unanimous approval, Tom.
That's the way I'm recording it. 7-0. Yeah, the motion carries. We are recommending approval of Piedmont Heights master.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Susan, and everyone at Piedmont Heights and Tim. Okay, folks, that concludes our matters for voting. On the agenda, item number 8, I don't believe we have any presentations tonight. Item 9, Doug, do you have a planner's report?
Good evening, folks. Yes, I do. Once again, my name is Doug Young. I am your friendly NPU-F planner tonight. My day job is I'm director of the City of Atlanta's Office of Design, the Department of City Planning, which handles the city's historic preservation, public space, and strategic planning work. So thank you all for allowing me to be your NPU planner for many years now. We do have a couple very short announcements to report tonight. We are continuing the Atlanta City Studio Book Club this Tuesday coming up on the 26th at 6:30 at the Atlanta City Studio at 235 Mitchell Street. Our book we're discussing next is called A Paradise of Small Houses by Max Podemsky. This book explores how housing has evolved over time and examines out how American ideas about home ownership have shaped today's housing crisis. And then just a reminder that as we mentioned last month, the first complete draft of Zoning 2.0 is on the atlzoning.com website through September 2nd. We encourage you all to use the interactive tool on that website to review and make comments on the draft. So those are our quick announcements, and I'll post several links. Well, I've already posted several links in the chat, which is a little bit farther up in the chat, and then my name and information is also posted in the chat along with my email.
All right. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and everything you do for us. Any questions for Doug? All righty. So then we will move on to item number 10, our neighborhood and committee reports. Why don't we start with Linridge Martin Manor? Rich.
Lindridge Martin Manor Board met this past Wednesday. Nothing of great import happened. Alex was present and we brought many of our problems to him, and he'll be working with various other bodies to try and solve the problems that are plaguing Lindridge Martin Manor.
All right. Make Alex earn his keep.
Yes.
All right. Good to hear. All right. How about Piedmont Heights? Bill, anything you want to add? Piedmont Heights? Susan or Tim, anyone with us?
Hey, there, it's Susan. Sorry, just got an internet lightning hit. We are going to be having our Taste Pie High and annual meeting on Sunday, September 28th. It'll be, I think, the third Taste of Pie High. And then we'll be electing our new board of directors at that time too. So it'll be at Indie Studios. It'll be a lot of fun and a lot of food and camaraderie. It's out on social media already. I think that's it. And then we're crossing our fingers that the city accepts the master plan next month. And thank you for approving it.
Excellent. Our pleasure. Okay, why don't we move on to Morningside, Lenox Park. Hey, Marla.
Hello. We have a concert in the park on September 12th at Cindy Marcus from 5:30 to 8:30. We also have a wine walk in Morningside Village. Apparently, we love wine in Morningside.
You want to talk about it? Or?
Yeah, I know, maybe.
I meant your love of wine, but yeah.
Yes, so that will be on Thursday, September 18th from 5:30 to 8. This is the third year. And proceeds are going to benefit Paws Atlanta, and there will be some pets there for adoption. And then last, our Monster Dash 5K race is on October 25th. That's at 8:30. It starts at the Morningside Farmers Market at Morningside Presbyterian, and it ends there also. So a very busy fall.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
Plenty of wine
Yes.
down in Morningside.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you. How about Virginia Highland? I heard Kevin with us earlier. Anyone from Virginia Highland?
Kevin just mentioned that he was not feeling well, and so he has dropped out. So we'll have to get their update next month.
All right, no problem. I hope Kevin's feeling better. Let's see. How about anyone from Edmond Park? Emory, CDC, Druid Hills? All right, why don't we move on to our committee chair people? Rich, anything on parks, trees, and environment?
Yes, I just want to remind people, and I put the information in the chat about the Creek Rising events for the South Fork Conservancy, the organization that is building trails and protecting and improving the health of South Fork of Peachtree Creek. It's on 18th September from 5 to 7:30. The information is in the chat. And I also want to remind people that the Great Southeastern Pollinator Census, sponsored by Auburn, UGA, North Carolina State, University of Florida, and Clemson, will take place this Friday and Saturday for the public on Saturday. The information is in the chat. So if you want to go out for 15 minutes in your own garden and count pollinators, it will, and all that data will go to UGA Extension, and they can then determine the health of pollinators throughout the state of Georgia. That will find out if your garden will grow well or not. So encourage you and your kids to participate.
Counting pollinators. That sounds
pollinators. Yes, all the information. Go to that website. All the information is there.
That seems harder than trying to count hands in an NPU vote.
Not difficult at all.
Very, very dynamic subject there, but okay.
Just don't bother the bees too much.
I'll give it my best shot. All right, thanks, Rich. Okay, how about education? Is Jason Holmes with us? All right. Well, Jason told me he wasn't sure if he was going to make it tonight, but he had a one announcement he wanted me to read. APS is in the process of developing their facilities master plan to address school utilization across the district. They'll be releasing their proposed options this week for public comment. Once those are released, Jason will summarize any impacts to the NPU-F zoned schools and share them in the next meeting. There will be both virtual and in-person meetings held on August 25th as the first opportunity for the community to ask questions and provide any feedback. So again, if you have any questions on that, I would suggest to reach out to Jason. Okay, moving on. Marla, anything from communications?
No.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Public safety, how about Kay or Susan?
Well, sadly, we have a very, what should I say, bold encampment of children and house people. And I've alerted both Zone 2 and PAD as well. They're using elements from the dumpsters and construction to create quite a little city down there. And I think as the weather gets colder, we're all going to have to be on our on alert, especially for fires. PAD did do an inspection, but was not did not feel safe or to go down to where the majority of it is down by that creek. So it's in back of it's that creek that goes around Cheshire Bridge. Rich probably knows where that is. Um, anyway,
It's a tough problem to deal, and we expressed our concerns to Alex. He is trying to get together a group of agency heads and different, including Fulton County, because they are responsible for health in the county. They really
oh,
have.
that's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get Commissioner Barrett involved in this, GDOT, the various actors. The sort of the city's push is trying to clean up downtown for the World Cup.
Yes.
A lot of that is spilling over into other neighborhoods, a lot of the energy. So, we're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah. The
Yeah.
people, we've had problems. I have a little side hustle. I work part-time at Gravity Fitness that's over there, and they've certain people come in and steal things, and they're very belligerent and hostile and hard to deal with. So it's pretty problematic.
Okay.
I think our city, our ombudsman, Clyde, be
Clyde
aware
Mitchell?
that this is a problem in our neighborhoods. Different departments are trying to address it, but it's really it's a national problem.
It's a big problem. I agree. And it's very complicated. Mm-hmm.
Complicated, and the more resources that can get thrown at it in a good manner, the better it is, because it impedes neighbors from using things in their neighborhood.
Fair. Yeah.
People just don't feel safe.
Yeah, true.
All right. Thanks.
Whether those people are violent, belligerent or not, it's just the presence of those people in places where people would like to feel secure creates difficulties.
Yeah, it's an uncertainty about what might happen. Excellent. All right.
The
Well,
more that the mayor is aware of it, the more that resources can be brought together to address the problem, I think everybody in the city would benefit.
I agree.
Marla, did you have a comment?
Yeah, sorry. I think your internet was cutting in and out. Can you repeat where this is again?
There's a street off of Cheshire Bridge called Faulkner.
Yeah.
It's where Costumes Etc. used to be, and there's a wholesale flower place. It's called Faulkner. And then as you head all the way down before you get to whatever that, I think, dairy plant is, it's a bunch of office park. And at the end of that, there is an entrance into the woods that goes down to the creek. And they've taken things and created an entrance.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Now I know where my daughter used to
I got it. Yeah.
Dance over there. Yes. Now I know what you're talking about. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Kay, do you want to talk about the mold issue?
Well, yeah, a couple of other things first.
Okay.
I wish I had brought this up earlier when we had more people, but I wanted to make sure everyone knew that John Wolfinger passed on July 19th. John was sort of the soul of the safety movement in our NPU. Anyway, we're going to plan a celebration of life for him when his family from Ohio can get here. So I'll be looking for that. We're also, David Harris here in Virginia Highland and Kevin Cronin and I and a few other folks are working on some ideas for a permanent memorial.
Nice.
Possibly a garden in John Hell Park, something like that. So we will be doing some fundraising for that, and we'll let you know about that. The other thing I wanted to mention, we talked a little bit earlier about the shooting at CDC. We recently, just today, heard there's a group of folks that want to work on decorating a signal box right there near that intersection to honor Officer David Rose. So you'll be hearing more about that as well. Emotional stuff for me.
Yeah.
So on a less emotional but more angering, perhaps, note, we had our quarterly State of the Zone meeting with the Major and Captain Harris, and learned that for the second time in as many years, they have discovered black mold in the precinct, and they're having to remediate that. Over the last several years, the neighborhoods have all banded together and fundraised to do whatever improvements we could in that precinct. We have painted, we have patched walls, we have bought them furniture. At this point, we think it's time for the city to step up and build a purpose-built new facility for these officers. We talk over and over about retention. And money and pay only goes so far. You have to provide people a safe working environment. So the majority of the neighborhoods in Zone 6, the safety chairs have gotten together. We've drafted a letter that we're going to send to the mayor, city council, and APD leadership, making that request, that they make it a priority to get a new safe facility for these officers to work in. For the next little while, they're going to be in a trailer in the parking lot next door while the mold remediation is going on, but none of that is really acceptable. So what I would like is for the NPU to vote to support that initiative so we can put our names on the letter. I'm going to sign it personally. Tom and Debbie have all agreed to do the same, but I'd like to be able to say that the NPU supports that. And so I'll make that motion if we can to support that letter and that initiative.
Excellent. Thanks, Kay. Does somebody want to second Kay's motion?
This is Susan. I'll second.
All right, Rich, I saw you, but Susan's your safety chair, so we'll give it to her.
Susan's fine.
Great. So I think the motion's pretty clear. Any discussion on the motion? Does anyone object to NPU officially signing this letter to support the new precinct, a new police station, I should say? All right, seeing none, the motion carries without objection.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Kay and Susan, and I know Phyllis and a lot of other safety chairs all worked on this. Let me just let Bill back in. I know you guys, a lot of people worked on it. I know it was a lot of hard work, so really appreciate all your efforts pulling that together and rallying the troops to get supported behind this. It's a good cause. Okay, is that it for safety? Is Katie still with us? APAB? No. Okay. Just a couple more comments and we're almost to the end, folks. I did want to provide an update. Last month, this NPU voted unanimously recommending we deny an alcohol application for the Time Restaurant on Piedmont Circle. That, of course, is in Bill and Tim's neighborhood in Piedmont Heights. subsequent to that recommendation for denial, APD asked for certain information from the applicant. They weren't able to supply that. And the short version is the application has now been voided. So that particular application is not moving forward. So our recommendation of denial has essentially been upheld, if you want to look at it that way. So I really want to thank everybody that made that possible, Piedmont Heights in particular. Bill and Tim and Kay, you were helpful at the last meeting, so thank you for that. Kay, do you have a question or a comment?
I was just going to say, let's give Tom some credit on that one because he did a tremendous amount of research. And it's not easy to convince Chris Clark to do what you want sometimes. So well done.
Well, I appreciate that, but it truly was a team effort, and I mean that. Those of you that were at the NPU meeting knew that Bill in particular really took a strong stance and held him to task, and Kay, your knowledge of parking and ordinances was evident, and we appreciate that. And Tim was involved. There's a lot of other folks were involved, so it was a team effort. But I think it's a big win, and I think we need to acknowledge that when we talk about. Not our voice is not always heard, but if we're persistent, we can have a positive impact on the community. And this is a great example. That's just why I wanted to bring it up.
Tom, this is a great example of the partnership between our neighborhoods and the NPU. I mean, the people on this application were bad actors.
Yeah.
Not only for Piedmont Heights, but for this larger community. And we have to work together to stop them before they get the application, if at all possible, because once they get that application, as we all know, it's almost impossible to take it away.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's a great point. Well said, Bill. And I would say that, this was the first alcohol application that we've stopped here for this particular actor, but the same folks, Piedmont Heights was also I would call it a victory, stopped another special application permit, I think it was, in the district.
We're going to see them again, but all we can do is make it as difficult for them as possible.
But we inherited these problems from our friends up in Buckhead, and so if we have a couple more victories like this, I think it'll be very distasteful to continue to do business in NPU-F for them. So maybe they'll move on. But okay, thanks a lot. So again, moving on. Let's see. There's a PNC Atlanta 10K miler, or it's 10 miles and a 5K. It's October 19th. Let's see, starts at 7:15 a.m. It meets at Atlantic Station. It's been a reoccurring event since 2013, 5,600 people. So it's a large gathering. So we will not be voting on that, but I just wanted to let everybody know that race is going on. And the 10 miler does come through our NPU in Piedmont Park. Again, that's October 19th. And then lastly, I've talked about this several times, and I realize the audience is quite small now, but I wanted to do it on the heels of kind of that victory with that alcohol application. Again, if you want to have an impact, joining the NPU is a great way to do it. Considering half the people on the line are already members of the NPU, I may be talking to a wall, but I think there's going to be several positions open, and for the committee chairs that are with us, I'm probably going to be reaching out to you guys in the next couple weeks to try to feel everybody out. Where are you parked? What's your thoughts for next year? So we can kind of put together a straw man of a roster and see where we're going to need some support. And so we can start doing some maybe targeted campaigning towards particular roles that might be open next year. So keep an eye out for that. I'll probably give it another couple weeks, but I'll start to reach out and start to put that together. So give some thought about what you want to do next year and any other folks that you might want to nominate. Okay, so that concludes our announcements and departmental reports. Is there any old business? Not seeing any. Item number 12, new business. Not seeing any. Item 13, sorry to say, time to adjourn. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right, Kay, I heard Bill next.
Let's go home.
Any opposition to the motion? All right, the motion carries. We are adjourned at 9:10 p.m. Thank you, folks. I really appreciate it.
Nice
All
job,
right.
Tom.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, very nice job, Tom.
Good
Appreciate
job.
it.
You set a record on timing, Tom.
Good work.
I'm from the north originally. I talk fast. All right. Well, I appreciate
guys.
everybody's help.
Good night,
See you guys
everybody.
later.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.